up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but the penny turn red. Can't let that shit down in my head, war gaming.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I'm Shane, hanging out with Fox.
Hello.
And of course, we've got Jochi.
I'm in the void.
Jochi in the void. Today, we are asking the age-old question of how much hobby is too much hobby.
How much is too much?
There's an answer for everything.
And the answer for this episode is, it depends.
It depends
Cue
on
credits.
you.
It depends on you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a absolutely key thing. Disclaimer is that obviously this is just our opinions.
Yeah,
And we're just two big dumb bozos. But
dumbest.
The dumbest of bozos.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
Yep.
And it's important for you to contextualize what we're saying in your own life. You know,
Absolutely.
be adults and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, and I can't stress this enough. We're just two big dumb bozos. So, but you're here. You obviously value our opinions, or you've discovered us, in which case you'll quickly learn not to. And
Because of value our opinions and not to discover us, because it's too late for one of them.
yeah, well, exactly.
Yep.
One ship has sailed, but you can still get the next boat.
second one.
There's still a train coming soon.
Yep, yep.
So yeah, we'll talk about, but hopefully it's thought-provoking. At least it can get you thinking about it. Maybe
Yeah.
start a conversation in the comments in the Discord.
Bit of food for thought,
That's
bit of
it.
mental gymnastics around this kind
There
of
will
stuff.
be many gymnastics
Yep.
of the mental variety.
Yep.
So, what was that?
They're not my child. Not
Was that a child?
Maybe.
Are you keeping a small child within the studio?
Not in here.
Not in here. Good enough, I think.
Felt like I was in a horror movie.
Yeah, legally I'm calling for ignorance. I don't know anything about any children Shane might be keeping in room adjacent.
That's what they say.
I want to know. What do you think? What do you think is too much hobby, Shane?
Well, I think everybody has a threshold, right?
Yes.
It's like everyone's got a tolerance to alcohol. Some people have a higher tolerance than others. Like Rory on his 31st birthday probably has a lower tolerance than you and I, for example.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So when it comes to hobby, it's the same kind of thing.
When was his 31st?
Nearly a year ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
What happened? Obviously, my
He
tolerance was not so good.
destroyed the bathroom at Beeves Bar.
That's right. Yes.
Probably wouldn't want to say this on the internet, but
It's out there now.
Oh,
We
man.
can't take it back. We're not editing this.
Rory from number 15.
East Lakes. West Lakes.
Boulevard?
I don't know.
We're not doxing him, don't worry.
Yeah. Phone number 0434.
Within like an area, a couple streets, so you'll find him.
I actually think we're doing the wrong estate. But
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
we've just given someone else's address. There you go. Send them some love mail. Potentially,
And
maybe.
a bill.
Yeah.
Go and destroy their bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. I've got a great idea for a skit. Anyway,
Put it in the bank.
put it in the bank. Yeah, everyone does have their threshold, Shane. You are correct. Unlike Rory. Actually, like Rory, who hit his threshold.
Yep.
We all have that one beer too many.
Yeah, which could be one army too many or one box of miniatures too many.
It's like, you know that show where everyone's walking around? Is it like they've got the time above them or like it's on their wrist or whatever? and
In
they-
time with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, okay. Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. I don't watch it every day.
Okay, dude. All right.
Chill, bro.
All right, dude. All right. And I feel like we all are walking around with that time,
Yeah.
us wargamers, and that time is the total time we have left in our lives
Yep.
to do and play war game hobby related things.
But that time may, like right now, you know, your time on your wrist might be reading like 1 hour, which is 1 hour a day, 1 hour a week.
Yeah, whatever it
But
is.
through different stages in your life, that time's going to change.
For sure.
You know, like for you, for example, right now with 2 kids under, how old's Lincoln? 3?
3.5
Yeah, so 2 kids under 5, let's just say.
or under
You-
4. But
Or
you
6.
didn't trust me
or
well
10.
enough to know the age of my son. You're like, he could be wrong, so let's say.
I mean, you could be wrong.
Yeah.
You've got limited time. As they get older, that time might increase.
Yeah. Might decrease.
If you had a 3rd child, then you're in trouble.
I am getting an axe and a wood block
Let's watch.
and some elk.
Yeah, let's film it.
And I'm going to find my threshold. Let's film
content,
it.
bro.
That is content. That's Patreon only content.
Exclusive
For as
content.
little as $2 a month, you can get early access.
You can see this guy drop his nuts off.
I didn't say I was going to do that. You said that. I just was ambiguous.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. It does fluctuate. So I like to try and think of, like, obviously when I make a hobby purchase, I don't want to do it with the intention that I'm going to have it sit there for 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years is like a nice little window.
Yep.
Because I'm finding myself now doing hobby on things I bought 3 years ago, and
Oh, dude,
it feels good.
it's so easy for that to happen though. Like
It was quick.
Time just gets away.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
Throw in a what was that thing called? Global pandemic.
Yep.
And that evaporated time. Somehow we had more of it, but we did less hobby. I don't know.
It's crazy, right? Anyway,
Anyway.
that's another topic.
Is it? Write that down.
Write that down.
So yeah, I use like a little 3-year window, and everyone's window that they choose to observe through is different. But I go, how much time do I have a week if I've got 2 hours?
Yep.
How much time is that a year? That's probably 104.
I mean, maybe.
Did I say weeks? Yeah, 104 hours, right? 52 weeks in a year.
Roughly. Someone will
104
check it.
hours a year times 3. I got 300 hours.
Okay, you've done the
roughly.
math.
I've done the math. That
Yep.
checks out. And if I buy a box of something, I go, well, how long is each miniature going to take me? Roughly an hour.
Yep.
Even if I speed paint, by the time, like I'm talking build time and everything.
Yeah.
And I bought 10 of them. That's 10 hours. Okay, cool. What do I need to actually play this game? What does that look like? And then I go, all right, to do this and play a game, it's going to take me 50 hours of hobby, which means it's basically probably, by the time I take into account playing a few games
Yep.
and a few other smaller projects, it's the only thing I can do this year.
Because that's all eating into that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing games, everything is all lumped into that particular hours you've set out for yourself for the year.
Facts.
And yeah, absolutely. I can see that happening. Like you think from the outset, wow, 300 hours, that means 300 models, right?
Yeah.
Nah.
No,
Nah.
there's building as well.
Yeah.
And like, but that's a big time sink. And then yeah, you actually do want to play these games.
And you might have like big characters, big monsters, vehicles, whatever, which is obviously going to take up more time than single infantry.
Yeah, and so I got to go, well, this box is fine. This one's 10 hours.
Yep.
But yeah, what if I go get the box that has a few bigger things and I really want to do characters as well? Maybe they're 2 hours each. And so I really think about that a lot, actually.
Yep.
I have to. Otherwise, I find myself in a situation where I'm like, yeah, I got this, but I also, like, 2 months ago or even 6 months ago, I bought this other thing that has another 50 hours in it.
Yep.
And there's this thing coming out that I want to get 2 boxes of that, which is another 20 hours in it.
Yep.
And suddenly I'm talking about all those few purchases in that window. That's like the next 2 years of stuff sorted.
Yeah.
Obviously, more stuff's going to come out that I want. So when I'm saying yes to these things, I'm actually saying no to something else.
Yep. And it's so easy to add to the collection, add to the pile, than it is to work through it. You know, it's just like 3 clicks and you've just ordered yourself a new army.
Yeah,
But like, it just takes so much more effort to paint it, build it, and get it on the table.
facts.
And it's like, it's just so easy for everything to sort of just get swept up with the newest release or the newest game you might stumble across. And like, for example, like I'm looking at Sludge right now. I'm working on my second Sludge army, but there's a whole stack of other things that I've had there for 3 years and more
Yeah.
that just aren't going to get done because of it. And like, you have to put that order in and you have to make those sacrifices, I guess. But I guess at the end of the day, like if you've got the room for it, things can stay in a box for 3
Yeah.
years, for 5 years, for 10 years.
Yeah.
Until you decide to pull it out, whether it's in the whatever game you're playing, whether it's current or whether it still even exists in the rules is a different story, but it's always there.
Yeah. It's always plastic
Yeah.
or metal and or MDF or whatever. And yeah, it's tough because in my brain I go, if it takes me 10 years, then I've wasted money.
Mm-hmm.
If it takes me 5 years, I've wasted money.
Yep.
And not because it loses its value over time or anything. I mean, some things obviously do. Some things go up.
Yeah.
But the reason it's wasted money is because I've spent, say, $100 on X.
Yep.
And for the next 5 years, I'm not going to use it. So that's $100 that I'm not spending on something that I would actually use and get
Yeah.
enjoyment from within
Yep.
the next 5 years.
Yep.
And so it's tricky because you got to wrestle with all these things. Like you said, they don't go down in value. They sit in a box. They'll still do the same thing you bought them to do.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, they just not work when you open the box.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah.
Some people operate really well from like the butterfly. I mean, we're all little hobby butterflies.
Yeah.
If you're watching this podcast, you are a hobby butterfly.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
one person that goes, I just play this and
Yep.
that's it. Because you wouldn't listen to this. This would blow your brains out listening to this.
Yeah, if you only played competitive 40K,
You're not
you
here.
wouldn't
We're not
be
even
here.
talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, it reminds me of a term that Penny coined, one of the homies in the Discord a while ago.
Is it appropriate?
It was crackhead hobby.
It's crackhead hobby.
Crackhead hobby. It's just like super focused on one thing, and then
Yeah.
immediately super focused on something else.
Yeah, and that's
Yep.
us to a T. It's like we're locked in. We're like, we are going to be test of honor.
Yeah.
What's that? A ship? A Marta game? You said it's called a Marta? Oh, let's have a little look at that.
Yeah, test of what?
That's incredible.
Yep.
I love this. What'd you say? You said something about one-page rules.
Yeah,
Doesn't make
yeah.
any sense.
Yep.
One-page rules. Well, that's amazing. Let's do that. So did you say one-page parsecs? And here we are.
Yep.
What's that? Field serpents.
And it's like test of honor.
Test of honor.
Back there again.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
we
like,
still got that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Some people operate really well having all those different things
Yeah.
in their collection. So they're like, now I'm on that test of honor wave again.
Yeah.
I've watched a battle report and that's got me hyped for it. I put it down
Yeah.
for a while. Let's go to that big box of unbuilt, unpainted stuff, and it's right there available to me now. And
Yep.
now I'll hobby it.
And then you can utilize that. If you get most of your enjoyment out of the hobby side of things, it can be a really good thing, because it can keep whatever you're painting fresh. Like your palette, you're not getting bogged down painting through hundreds and hundreds of Space Marines. You can do 10, and then you can go and do 10 Ashigaru.
Yep.
And then like you can do 10 of these elves or something. Like you can just keep cycling it, and then everything is just new. And by the time you get back to doing like your Ashigaru again, it's not a chore.
Yeah.
You sort of do it as you get inspired to do it.
Yeah, which is great because, and that does work for people. I feel like the people that works for, because I feel like I've been that person before, they're the most susceptible to overcommitting,
Yep.
because that's the justification I know I use
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I buy something.
Yep.
And I'll hobby it for a little bit. Of course, you buy it, you're excited about it, arrives, you build it.
You rip the
maybe
shrimp wrap off there.
Yeah, that's it.
Look at the book, or open the box, look at the sprues, and then you go, oh yeah, I'll get to them.
I'll do that next week. I just need a bit of a hobby break at the moment, but I'll get to that next week. And then
Yep.
something else pops up.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, you know what? If I buy that, I'm saying yes to that and no to the thing I just bought last week.
Yeah.
But I'm a hobby crackhead.
Yep.
I'll get to that when I'm hyped for it. And then the boxes get higher.
The mountain grows.
The mountain, she yearns. A note that I have here is, don't you even want to play? And so that's something that I think about when I sort of get locked into that. I've got this many hours to build and paint a week or a month or whatever.
Yep.
How long would it take me to do X? Like you said earlier, the playtime's actually in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I'm just building and painting, or taking that into account, or using that as justification, if I go, I got 10 hours this week, I can buy this thing that's going to take me 10,
Yep.
because then I'll do it in a week. But then I don't get to play. I want to play that week, or I want to do something else. So I guess that's something to be mindful of when you're trying to do these mental gymnastics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take into account that if playing is your heavy motivation, you probably want to find time to do that to keep you motivated.
Yep.
To actually hobby
And you're going to choose that over hobbying every
Any
single time.
any day.
Back in our early days, we had paint nights.
Yeah.
We had almost weekly paint nights, and on the weekends we'd play games.
Yeah.
Like a Saturday or a Sunday, we'd spend a good 4 hours at least playing a game.
Yeah.
And like now, it's kind of like we haven't got that time. Obviously podcasts take some time and that sort of things, and it's a good excuse to play a game. But then it comes to like, if I was to say, hey, Saturday, we've both got 4 hours free, do you want to come around and paint minis? It'd be like, how about I come around and play a game?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you're gonna
Even when we were doing paint nights, there were so many times where we'd all sit down and paint models, and I'd be like, it's a bit weird. There's 4 of us here. We could be playing a game.
Can we do a 2v2?
Do you guys want to do
Yeah.
a TV2?
Yeah.
And you'd all be like, all right, folks, we'll stop what we're doing.
It's so funny though, because every single paint night, you were always the last one to start painting. Everyone's like halfway
Yeah.
through, and you're like just
You got
avoiding it.
max procrastination.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was like, what are these idiots doing? Like, there's 4 of us. You can play a 4-player game and you're painting.
Yep.
Do you understand what we could be doing instead? You don't need to paint these.
Yeah, great plastic's fine.
Yeah, it's so funny because just a little tangent. Even like, and talking sort of about how much people change over their hobby timeline.
Yep.
I used to be like if we're not playing in a tournament, grey plastic's fine. Grey plastic's preferred because it means I chose playing the best part of it over painting.
Yep.
And now, when we talk about playing games, I don't even think about armies that I haven't painted.
Either of us don't even field unpainted miniatures.
Nah, and and again, it's one of those things where everyone's like, oh, I don't care if they play with unpainted minis. Just for me,
Yeah.
I want to play with painted minis. And having been the person who rocks up with grey minis, you'd think I'd be more empathetic to them.
Yeah.
But I'm like, deep down, if I'm bringing painted minis. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's just funny how, just thinking about how much people have changed over their trajectory.
Yeah.
And both of us actually have been very deliberate in being much more responsible with our purchases because we went crazy.
Oh man, there was a point like where every week it was kind of like I have to go to the hobby shop, and if I go to the hobby shop, I have to buy something because I can't just go there and not buy something.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like even if it's like one paint, but it ends up being a box of this and a box of that, and maybe a handful of paints or something like that. And it becomes unnecessary. It becomes wasteful.
And this is the whole reason I think we're doing this episode, talking about being overcommitted in the hobby, is that it becomes such a mental drain.
Yeah.
And that, like, once you get these massive, it's like your lawns. If you stay on top of your lawns, you feel great, and that makes you want to keep the lawns down.
Yeah, yeah.
You let them get up to here, you start feeling shit about your life.
It becomes a slog.
Yeah. I
know?
stare at myself in the mirror. I'm like, you're not even a real man. Look at your lawns, dude. And I'm like, I don't even own a lawnmower. You could just drive to your mum's and borrow one. Shane will let you borrow his. Right?
Yeah.
All right, can I take it home?
Today.
My lawns are out of control, dude.
Yeah, right.
But you know what I mean?
Back for the weekend, though.
What's today? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But you know what I mean? It's like if you stay on top of things, you feel more productive, and that gives you a better mental state, and therefore you're more productive. And it's a great cycle to be in. There's a power in not overcommitting to the hobby for that reason. Yeah. At least I've found.
Yeah. I use excuses of like getting stuff done to then maybe purchase more things, right? Like,
yeah, that's good.
CanCon, for example, I bought a whole lot for Sludge, but I just finished my first Sludge army. So I bought everything guilt-free. I didn't have buyer's remorse at all.
I don't believe you, only because Rory and I were walking, and we were all walking. There was just a bit of a lull. We're kind of just, I think, enjoying the vibe, having a bit of a quiet moment because it's loud in the convention centers.
It is very loud.
And you were just like, I don't have buyer's remorse. And we're just like, what do you mean? You're like, I don't. We're like, bro, no one said anything. Did you mishear something? You're like, no, I don't. I'm like, well, that's good, dude. You bought some good stuff. And you're like, yeah, I did. I'm like, you're going to use it all. You're like, yeah, I will use it all.
I will. I'll show you.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean show me? You're the one that said it.
Well, coming home with my bag of goodies, my wife was interested to what I'd purchased.
Sure.
And she kind of, I sat down, I was building and painting, and she's like, so is this it? And I'm like, what do you mean is this it? Like, is this all I bought? She's like, no. Is this all you're ever going to buy?
What?
And I'm like, well, nah, probably not. And she's like, Shane, you've got things in there from like 5 years ago. I'm like, I'll get around to it when I get around to it.
And here we are talking about it. The one thing maybe we're qualified to speak on is being overcommitted.
Yep.
Yeah, you got, but I can see Cursed City, I can see Dominion, and I know exactly what's in there. Exactly what was in there when you bought them. In fact, is that in shrimp?
Dominion?
Yeah. Is it actually?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I didn't even know it came in shrimp, to be honest.
Yeah, well, most places split it up because they couldn't sell it.
Yeah, but not this, not to you.
No.
You got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Facts.
Anyway, when I was building the Kroot that you've left here,
yes,
she's like, what are these? And I'm like, they're not mine. They're not mine.
Sarah doesn't even believe me when I say that.
I'm building them for Fox. And she's like,
uh-huh.
She's like, that's worse. I'm like, what do you mean? How is that worse?
It's like you should be building your own stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like when I walked out with those. Sarah's like, "What are you doing with those?"
Yeah.
Because she assumed I was selling them or something.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna drop a box off to Shane to build."
Yep.
She's like, "Oh, does the podcast own them?" I'm like, "No, I own them." She's like, "Why don't you build them?" I'm like, "This takes a really long time." She's like, "Yeah, but it's only 2 boxes." I was like, "Oh, you haven't been in the garage." I have like, the Bunnings shelves.
Yeah, yeah.
So like none of my shelves are organized. They're just
Yep.
like chaos, and they're all just like, it looks like a storage container.
Yeah.
One of the shelves just says Kroot on it. In a tiny little like label maker thing.
Yep.
Kroot. And
Nice.
it's just my well-organized Kroot. So she obviously hasn't seen that because she would have seen that orange box.
Yeah.
And another 6 of them.
Yep.
So anyways, yes, overcommitted. But I mean, it's not like, it's tricky because it's really hard to say that being overcommitted is a bad thing. Obviously, it's not efficient for you to buy something, which in turn means you're not using the old thing.
Yep.
I don't think it's unique to this hobby though. How many times have we bought a new Steam game, which means we're saying no to an old Steam game
Exactly.
that we haven't yet finished, that we intended to
Yeah.
play through when we spent $90 on it?
Yep. Yep.
It's like if you get more enjoyment out of the new Steam game than you would of those last 30 hours of the old one,
Yep.
is that alone worth it?
Possibly. And like, yeah, I guess it's like it's there. You've bought it. It's there. If
Yeah.
you want to play it, you can reinstall it.
Yeah.
Or
Or you can pull it out of the box
Or you
and
can take it out
build
of the
it.
box, build it, paint it eventually.
Mm.
Like we said earlier, they'll always be there. If you keep them in a box and you tuck them away in the shed or in the garage or under your bed or whatever, it's going to be there.
Yeah. For me personally, I kind of know. I got like when you're drinking, and I don't know if you guys do this, but when you're drinking, I'll just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can get this much into a beer,
Yeah.
and I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
My body stops.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like
It's
you know,
like-
if you finish that beer, then you're in trouble.
It's one-way ticket to Muntsville or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
my body just knows it's like the next 5 mils is too much.
Yeah. Yep.
And so my body just stops. I feel like I've got the exact same thing when it comes to hobby. I'll get to a point where I buy something, and it's like if you buy another thing,
Yep.
your inventory is like this.
Yeah.
I'm like one of them NPCs where you sell stuff to, and you can't sell any more to them when the inventory is full.
Yeah. You should see him next week, dude.
That's what. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I just cycle stuff out.
Okay.
So I've got my little inventory, and if
Yeah.
I want to put something in, I got to take something out.
Fair.
Which is why everyone will always mock me for how much I sell my armies.
Yep.
That's exactly why. It's because I know my little overcommitted method,
Yep.
and I just know when it gets to that threshold of being overwhelming,
Yep.
and I'm like, I know I'm not going to do any hobby unless I get that out of there, feel more reasonable about myself, and start attacking things.
You know what you could do? Put things in boxes and put them up on top of the shelf there where you can't see them,
It doesn't work.
doesn't it?
I know it's there, except my Skaven, which I have no idea where they are. But yeah, no, I know it's there. I've got the entire collection of my hobby miniatures in my head,
Yep.
and like, there's not much space in there
Yep.
because
Hobby.
small brain.
Like,
And so yeah, I just need to cycle things out. I don't know if other people are like that. That's probably just a weird thing that I do. Apparently
Probably.
there's a few of them.
nah, probably not. It's probably just you.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully, the goal of this episode is to get you thinking about maybe what overcommitment looks like. Maybe, we don't want to see any of us get too burnout,
Nah.
which is where I think I guess burnout typically means like you're overworked.
Yep.
But in the hobby, usually it's not like doing too much hobby.
No, it can also be, just overwhelming as to what you've got. Like, when I moved, which was just over 12 months ago now, obviously had to move all of my hobby. And I was
Yeah.
ashamed with like how much boxes I had of things that just were still on sprue, or maybe I'd half built
Yeah.
and just tucked them away.
Yeah.
Fighting things Caitlin had bought for me years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man. And then like granted I didn't do any hobby, but I didn't buy anything for like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
I was just off hobby for a while, and then came back to it hard with, I think, Mini Warmutt's first painting challenge or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it was
true.
and like that got the ball rolling again. And it was like things like that may also help you. Like maybe take a break, take a small break, take a week, take a month.
And you know what? For you, it was like breaking the cycle of constant purchasing.
It was, absolutely.
You're not like me. I'll go and buy the $500 box, and then 6 months later, I'll buy the next $500 box or whatever. You're like 50.
Yeah.
Another box.
Yeah.
Another box every like 2 weeks. And that's how it adds up for you.
I just can't justify those massive boxes, man. Like,
Yeah.
even like Leviathan was borderline too much, and I just got it because it was the newest edition, right?
Curse City, Dominion.
Hey, Dominion, you can't count Dominion. That was like, I don't know, $180. Something like that. They were giving it away.
Yeah, they are giving it away. That's fair. That's
Yeah.
basically free.
Basically free.
They paid you. They gave you Dominion and then threw in a Cursed City. They just take it off.
But like the Underworld's war bands, you know, like,
Yeah.
50, 60.
You're just buying them to have them.
Because it was like, it was there. It was in the budget. It was one of them a week adds up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to be 50. What are they now?
Oh, probably like
80?
70 or 80. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
That's crazy.
started at, $50 each, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
A really nice little anyway. This is Underworld episode.
Is it? Let's do it.
It is now.
What about them rival decks? Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say something, but it's alluded to me. Oh, yeah. The benefit of you taking a break for, say, 4 months, and then when you came back, smashing out 50 miniatures.
51.
52. That was 51.
Good channel.
Yeah, 52 miniatures. Good channel.
Yeah.
51 miniatures is that you kind of look at it and you go, over the last 5 months, my backlog has gone down 50 miniatures because
Yeah.
you didn't buy anything
Yep.
and you painted stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Usually we only do one of those things and it's not painting stuff.
Nah.
Usually we do both of those things. We paint slower than we buy.
Yep.
So I feel like that was a powerful catalyst because you're like, oh, this might be the first time where I've slayed a big chunk of my backlog
Yep.
and I haven't added to it.
Nah.
And then you went to CanCon, but anyways. But you could, because what'd you buy? Less than 50 miniatures, probably.
Probably.
You're still up, bro.
Yeah.
From way back then. And you've got another challenge.
Well,
Aren't you doing
I've
another
bought
challenge?
Leviathan since then.
Oh, did you? Yeah, but you sold a heap of that.
I
You scalper, you.
I didn't sell any of it.
What do you mean?
I gave the Gaunts to Gritty,
I count that as selling.
and
about-
Ollie's painted all the Marines.
I thought didn't you sell some more gun nids?
No, I just gave them all to Gritty.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you gave them away.
Yeah.
yeah.
Ain't no scalping.
True. Oh, wait, are you saying legally I didn't give any away? I mean, I didn't sell any. Is it a wink? Are you winking at me?
No, I'm not. I fair income just didn't sell any.
You just gave them away?
Yeah.
You gave your nids away?
No, not all of them. Just the gun nids.
That would have been nice.
Just the Gaunts. The Gants, the Gaunts.
What about the... Yeah, Gans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just them.
Okay.
I still have the rest of them.
All right, I'll buy some off you. It's happening right here. Deals. Wheeling and dealing. But now you're about
Maybe.
to slay your sludge minis. I also
yeah.
love that you talked about justifying your purchase earlier. Like you painted a sludge army.
Yep.
So then you could buy a sludge army.
Yep.
Didn't you buy 2 sludge armies?
I did. But
I
I'm
don't know if
halfway
the
through
math-
painting
The second one.
one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's 1.5, 1.5. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought you were like, paint 1, buy 2. Paint 1, buy
That's
2.
a good
paint 1, buy
idea.
2. It's good maths.
It's good. It's
I'm
good.
doubling my
I like
sludge
that.
armies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just good. It's good. Good
Double
business.
it up. Double it up, mate.
Thank you. We would love to hear your thoughts about, do you feel overcommitted? If not, why not? And what does it look like to you?
Yeah.
And is it even a bad thing?
How much is too much?
How much is too much for you? And do you feel it's a bad thing? And if so, why? I'm curious about all this stuff. I'm curious to hear what other people think, because
Yep.
we only talk to each other and sometimes churchy, and
Sometimes church.
outside of color correction and setting the scenes.
Focal points.
He doesn't know anything.
But when it comes to that, he's a damn wizard.
Blank canvas.
Yep. What?
He's blank canvas.
Blank canvas.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like outside of those things, you'd be like, "Hey, Churchy, what day is it?" He'd be like, "What's a day?" I assume he's just like a program built only for video editing
Oh, of course.
and anything outside of that.
Okay.
Because how can you be that good at those things
Yep.
and also a regular functioning human?
That's true.
That's just what I think in my head to normalize.
He's a wizard.
That makes sense. Wouldn't
Yep.
he be a warlock?
Probably.
Looks more like a warlock.
Yeah, maybe. Or an arcanist.
What is that?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Thanks for watching.
thanks so much.
Join the Discord if you haven't already. Let us know what your threshold is in the comments as well.
It sounds like a sex thing. Let us know. maybe PM us because
Yeah.
we got some not safe for work rules around
Yeah,
the Discord.
yeah.
Just double check with us personally. Slide into our DMs.
Yeah. And then
Just tell us about your threshold, and we'll tell you if you can post your threshold.
yeah. Penny, that goes for you.
That especially goes for you, Penny. Penny, that's actually just for
Just for you.
Everyone else we trust to post directly to
Yep,
the Discord
yep.
at your discretion.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Check out hobbyhomies.com for links to all the stuff. From there, you can find links to our Patreon. For $2 a month, you can get early access to videos like this and our battle reports and all other kinds of stuff we're doing. We're looking at spicing up our Patreon tiers, so check that out too. And yeah, if you can support us in other ways other than Patreon, that helps a lot too by liking the video, sharing the video with your friends, your gaming club, and making sure you're subscribed.
Interact to any of our things, tell your friends, and thank you so much to our patrons who do give us money.
Oh, they do.
Actual money.
Like hard, cold, hard cash.
They're hard earned. They go to work, they earn money,
Yep.
and a bit of that they give to us.
Yep.
And we are eternally grateful. Technically, you own us. We are just
In a way.
here for you.
Yep.
So use us at your discretion for your thresholds.
Massive shout out to our goats. As always, we have Burnsy, File Dinosaur, Gridlock, Axe, Anax, MJ, Test Dummy, and Black Apollo.
We got Brandon W, Moose, Elko, Churchy, my man, Rad Rooster, Ollie, Hockers, Penny, Aggro, Don Hua, Don Pure Blind, Primal Nerd, Jackson V, Fat Boy, and Big Rush. Thank you all. You're amazing. What are you doing? We love you.
See you next week.
Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One